Fantastic week and a great start to the week. Rob and I thought we would go live this morning just to remind you about Thursday, as if you could forget. Thursday morning, 9:30 a.m., L&D Mastermind live question time with Rob Moore's Consulting and our fantastic panel of experts. I'm going to hand over to Rob in just a moment to tell you more about that panel. But before I do that, don't forget, guys, get your questions in. We're still looking for questions. So any questions that you want to ask to our fantastic panel, make sure you get those submitted and we will ask those questions on Thursday morning live at 9:30 a.m. here. Rob, who's going to be with us on Thursday?
Well, me and you, there's a start. So if you haven't got enough of us after today, you get a bit more of us on Thursday, which is pretty cool. Just before I go into the panel, just really important, just one of the key questions is how do you actually see the event on Thursday? So if you are watching this live now, you're already good to go. Because we're going to be broadcasting this live to the L&D Mastermind Facebook group. We're going to be broadcasting it live to my feed on LinkedIn. So if you're following me on LinkedIn, you'll see that there. And it's also going to be going through to the YouTube channels, the L&D Mastermind YouTube channel, and also my Rob Moore's YouTube channel as well. And it will be live. So there are pre-registration links on there. So that on my company page on LinkedIn and on the Facebook group, you don't have to have registered to be able to view the event because it is simply a live. But if you do register, then of course the systems will remind you when we're about to go live, which is always a good thing. And any updates that we post in there between now and Thursday, you get to see also. So on Thursday, what we're doing is about 9:30 we'll be kicking off the event, and being a virtual thing, apologies, we can't give you a virtual bacon butty, but if we do these things in future, we'll try our best. So that sort of first 20-25 minutes or so, myself and James will introduce the event, and I'm going to give you kind of a bit of guidance about what it is we're trying to cover that day. So the key theme is around L&D moving away from being order takers to wave makers. And more poignantly, I guess, it's that expendable order takers to becoming valued wave makers in an organization. And what we're going to do between kind of 10 and 12, with a break sitting in the middle, is we've got a fantastic panel to answer your questions or questions that just come up on the day, but also questions maybe that they put to each other or James and I put to them from the debate around exactly how to do that. So if you've got questions specifically about the challenges and opportunities you've got at the moment, for example, one question I've come through, I won't spoil who it's for, but one great question that's come through is that they've really wanted to change the way that their L&D works, but they face a lot of resistance from senior leaders in working a different way. What advice would we have to try and help them influence those senior leaders to change the way that to accept a change that L&D want to make? So, I think that's a fantastic question that all of our panelists would have a wealth of experience and advice for. So that's the sort of question we want through. So if you've got a question for an individual on our panel or the group, please let us know. We have Charles Jennings, who's co-founder of 70-20-10 Institute and more recently the Tulsa Institute. So Charles is obviously thinking all around performance-based learning, so 100% learning. What does it actually take for that learning to transform into actual performance? What are the roles that are required? What are the tasks that are required? And so on. We've got Joe Wright, who's the CEO of Coaching Culture, and really excited that Joe's coming along, because I think what we often forget about is that kind of 20 and 70 piece that Charles will be talking about, but diving into it a little bit more deeply is the importance of leaders and the importance of coaching in being able to embed learning and improve performance and ultimately build things like relationships, trust and rapport, so we all get on better and we all perform better and we all give our best potential to the company and to each other. So Joe is an expert in that side of things. We've got David James as well, who's the CLO of Loop, but also you may know him better as the podcast host for the L&D podcast. So he's been doing that for years now, and some fantastic episodes of advice for L&D teams on there. If you've not followed that, please do. But David's thing is around performance in the flow, learning in the flow of work. How do we actually get more learning to happen as we're doing our jobs at the point where it's needed, rather than taking people away and having to go through laborious big LMSs or systems or classrooms or days out, whatever it might be? How do we do that element of it? And then I'm equally really excited that we've got Satnam Sagu coming on there as well, who's the Chief People Officer for Imperial College Healthcare, previously at British Red Cross as well, as Director of Learning. And I really believe that Satnam brings this to life for us. So yes, she's also a volunteer on the board of the LPI, and she's recently at this year's Learning Awards won an Outstanding Contribution Award to Learning as well. And you'll see her on the little posters I've been putting around, the little award that she's holding there. But more poignantly for me is Satnam's experience around having to try and do these things in places like the British Red Cross, where, let's face it, they've probably not got thousands and hundreds of thousands, if not millions of pounds to throw at all these great new innovations that lots of L&D teams tend to come up with. But nonetheless, she's done some really great things in those environments. So I'm hoping that when we're kind of talking about best practice sometimes, maybe the likes of Satnam might go, but in real world, sometimes this challenge happens and this is how we can overcome it.
Yeah.
And then we'll wind it up at the end with your good self again, James, just to kind of process what we've covered.
Cool.
And kind of try and get some actions for people that are on there, because I'm a big believer is if you just end an event and walk away and then go straight back into work, you're not going to do anything with it. So that kind of like 20, 25 minutes to process what we've done, create an action plan for yourself based on the things. I think that's going to be a fantastic end to the event as well.
Brilliant. No, Rob, I think it's going to be a fantastic event on Thursday. I think the panel are absolutely excellent. I'm really looking forward to hearing from them. And yeah, I can't wait till Thursday. It's going to be fantastic. So so that's 9:30 a.m. everyone on Thursday morning. If you're watching us live right now, it's exactly the same way you're watching us live right now. So on the Facebook page, the Facebook group, the LinkedIn page, the YouTube channel. We're going out live on the same feeds and on Rob's LinkedIn profile, as well as Rob's YouTube channel as well. So we will be going live on all those channels, folks. We look forward to seeing you on Thursday. Any final
Super.
thoughts from you, Rob?
I guess just for anyone who cannot make it at those times, because obviously, you know, work is work and 3 hours is a long time, then the event will be recorded. So you'll be able to pick that up afterwards, obviously on the platforms that it's streamed live to, which includes our YouTube channels. But what I might also do, James, is pop it onto the podcast link as well, so anyone following that can see it.
Brilliant.
And equally, of course, it's 3 hours, so there is no pressure if you come along to have to stay for the entire 3 hours. It's a live feed. We will be popping a break in the middle of it, but if you can come along for half an hour, then you need to do something, pop along for another half an hour. We're not going to be locking the doors. We're not going to tease you for coming back in the room like a dodgy comedian. It's purely there for your benefit. So please, whatever you can make, you might just get the pearl that you need in work.
Brilliant. No, absolutely, Rob. So until Thursday, 9:30, my friend. And all of you have a wonderful day tomorrow. And we'll see you at 9:30 a.m. on Thursday. Take
Have a
care
great day.
and see you then. Bye for now.
Bye bye.